No. Silence envelops the table. Dad blinks repeatedly, and Mom's hand flies to her pearl necklace. What? Dad finally speaks. I push my chair back and stand up. I will not pay you anything. For the first time I can remember, I'm looking down at them. Rachel Elizabeth Parker. Dad's voice drops an octave. Do you understand what you're doing? A manila folder lies open on the table. A 5-year payment plan. Monthly payment schedule. Documents demanding an additional $36,000 after I'd already sacrificed 2 years of double shifts. An hour ago, driving here, I received an HR notification on my phone. Official promotion announcement. Outstanding crisis management during night shifts. Annual cost reduction of $280,000 through system efficiency improvements. Exceptional team leadership. Those numbers are giving me strength now. Your grandfather would be ashamed of you now. Dad plays his final card. I smile slightly. Grandfather taught me to protect myself. That's exactly what I'm doing. I shoulder my handbag and walk toward the exit. Each step feels lighter than the last. Behind me, I hear chairs scraping against tile, voices of protest rising, but I don't turn around. When the restaurant door closes quietly behind me, the evening air hits my face. This was the beginning of my real life. It started 3 weeks ago, the day everything collapsed. The bank statement trembles in my hands. I can't look away from the numbers. $5 per month. Just $5. For the past 2 years, every month. Standing frozen in my parents' living room, my pulse hammers in my ears. Mom's cinnamon scent suddenly feels suffocating. This proves it. You've been lying to us. Mom's voice cuts through the silence. Each word precise and sharp. I blink repeatedly, trying to understand what's in front of me. This can't be right. Dad jabs the paper with his finger. The force makes me recoil. We thought you were sending $1,500, but you've only been sending pocket change. In the corner, Chloe leans against the wall, arms crossed over her designer blouse. Something flickers across her expression. Not guilt, not triumph. She studies her manicured nails, rotating her wrist so her diamond tennis bracelet catches the light. I don't understand, I whisper. But cold understanding is already seeping into my bones. Night shift memories assault me with physical force. 2 years at Meridian Food Distribution Center, working through the night while the rest of the world slept, managing inventory. Fluorescent lights burning my eyes, the constant ache in my back, protein bars shoved down my throat during 10-minute breaks. No time for real meals. And weekends. God, the weekends. Driving for that delivery service I hated. Smiling at strangers who never made eye contact while I placed groceries on their porches. All to scrape together $1,500 monthly. But I was sending money. My voice shakes, but I force out the words. Every month, for years. Mom snorts. The same contemptuous sound from when I won that scholarship in high school. A scholarship that wasn't enough. One that required loans and 3 part-time jobs to graduate college. Stop lying. We can see the transaction records. She waves the statement like irrefutable evidence of my betrayal. When I was 12, they converted my bedroom into Chloe's creative space. She needed room for dance equipment, they explained. The couch became my bed for the next 6 years. Every night I spread homework on the coffee table, cleaning it up before anyone woke. You owe $36,000 in back payments, Dad announces, arms crossed over his chest. The same posture from when I asked for help with college tuition. We have to save for Chloe's future, he'd said. She has real talent. I look at Chloe now, searching for shock, confusion. But she averts her gaze, suddenly fascinated by something outside the window. That's when I knew. This was her idea. 2 years ago. Let's send Mom and Dad $1,500 each month. To show our appreciation, she'd suggested over brunch. They've done so much for us, eyes wide and sincere. I nodded, tightened my budget further, took a second job, and every month, I sent money to the account she provided. "This way is easier," she'd insisted. "I'll make sure they get it." Something inside me hardens like concrete setting. "Show me Chloe's transfer records," I say in a voice steadier than I feel. My parents exchange an unreadable look. Chloe supports us more than enough. Mom switches to the soft, protective tone reserved exclusively for my sister. I straighten my shoulders, feeling the shape of my spine when it's not bent under the weight of others' expectations. "Show me her transfer records now." "Rachel," Dad warns, but I'm already reaching for my phone. "I need to verify something," I say, pulling up my banking app. Chloe suddenly pushes off from the wall. "I just remembered I have an important call to make," she announces, voice too bright, too brittle. "Work thing, can't wait." She leaves the room before anyone can respond. Quick footsteps on hardwood floors. I scroll through my transaction history. Each $1,500 withdrawal a record of my sacrifice. 2 years of transfers to the account Chloe assured me would help our parents. 2 years of double shifts and canceled plans, declining invitations because I had no money. 2 years of collapsing exhausted into bed, only to wake up and do it all again. And now they stand here saying I've given nothing. I look up from my phone to meet Dad's eyes, then Mom's. They stare back with the same mixture of entitlement and accusation. "I have proof," I say quietly, "of every payment." Mom waves her hand dismissively. "Show us the account number you sent to." I turn my phone screen toward them, displaying the long string of numbers. Dad glares at it, his face darkening. "That's not our account." A wave of heat rises up my neck to my face as pieces lock together with sickening clarity. Understanding spreads across my expression like a slow burn. Chloe's new car, lavish vacations documented on Instagram, designer clothes, perfectly decorated apartment, all appearing right after our agreement to support our parents. Outside, I hear Chloe's luxury SUV engine starting. The one she bought last year. "An amazing deal I couldn't pass up," she'd explained. "With my money." I burst through the front door, heart pounding against my ribs. I scan the driveway. Chloe's SUV is still there, engine idling. She's hunched over the steering wheel, typing furiously on her phone. My feet carry me forward with unknown strength. "Chloe." I slam my palm against her driver's side window. Bank statements on her phone screen illuminate her face in the twilight. She jumps, dropping her phone to her lap. For a moment, her eyes widen with genuine fear before she composes herself and cautiously rolls down the window a few inches. "Where's the money, Chloe?" My voice doesn't sound like my own. "Where's the $36,000 I sent over the past 2 years? Manicured fingers grip the steering wheel so tightly her knuckles go white. "Rachel, you're being ridiculous." But her voice shakes, confidence sliding away. I push my phone through the window gap. "Look at these transfers. $1,500 monthly to the account number you gave me." I scroll through the transaction history. The digital record of my sacrifice. The same account number you said would help Mom and Dad. Something cracks in her perfect facade. Her shoulders drop. Designer sunglasses slip forward slightly on her head. "I needed it for my influencer career," she whispers without meeting my eyes. "The clothes, travel. You know how expensive it is to maintain an image. Nobody follows someone who wears the same outfit twice." A laugh escapes me. Sharp, hollow, containing nothing. "You told them I wasn't sending anything." Chloe finally looks at me. What I see in her eyes chills me more than her words. No regret. Only calculation. "They believe whatever I tell them," she says with a small shrug. "They always have." That casual cruelty steals the breath from my lungs. I step back, suddenly needing distance between us. "You're my sister." The words barely audible. Chloe revs the engine and puts it in reverse. "And you're the sucker who paid my bills." She backs up. "I don't think you'll be able to convince them that it's not your responsibility." I watch the luxury SUV, really my luxury SUV, reverse down the driveway before turning toward the house. My parents are still inside, still waiting for their pound of flesh. For the first time in my life, instead of rounding my shoulders in anticipation of disappointment, I straighten my spine and walk toward them with purpose in every step. Returning to the living room, silence falls. Dad sits in his armchair, arms crossed. Mom perches on the edge of the sofa, wearing her practiced mask of concern. "Where did Chloe go?" Mom asks. I hold up my phone, displaying evidence in neat, undeniable rows. I have proof of every $1,500 payment sent to Chloe's account. I place my phone on the coffee table between us. 2 years, every month. They stare at the screen, looking at inexplicable numbers. Dad picks up my phone and glares at the transaction history. I spoke with Chloe outside. I continue in a voice steadier than I feel. She admitted to taking everything. I wait for the explosion, anger at me, parental outrage at such betrayal. Instead, Mom's expression softens and her head tilts in that special way, the one she reserves exclusively for my sister. She's still young, Mom sighs. She makes mistakes. Dad carefully places my phone back on the table, cautious not to crack the screen displaying his golden child's crimes. "It's just money," he says with a dismissive wave. "Why are you being so dramatic?" The floor seems to tilt beneath me. "Dramatic? She stole $36,000 from me. If you'd send it to our account in the first place," Mom interrupts. "This wouldn't have happened." I stare at them. These strangers who raised me. Why would I send it to Chloe's account in the first place? Dad's face flushes. For the Social Security benefits, obviously. And there it is. The final puzzle piece slots into place with sickening clarity. "You wanted to hide the money," I say slowly as understanding dawns. "From the government. You had me unknowingly commit tax fraud." The words taste bitter on my tongue. Dad stands, his height no longer intimidating me as it once did. "Pay the $36,000 or we cut you off." The threat hangs in the air between us. "And forget about grandfather's inheritance," Mom adds, playing their final card. I walk out without another word, clutching my phone in my hand. In the driveway, I dial a familiar number. My best friend's contact lights up the screen. When she answers, my voice breaks. "Jen, I need help." 3 days later at the restaurant. I'd rehearsed this moment in my mind countless times. But when I actually said no, it still surprised me. How easily the word came out. How right it felt. The promotion notification was giving me strength. Concrete numbers. Undeniable proof of value. A text from my colleague Marcus had arrived this morning. "Congratulations, Rachel. Your system improvements made everyone's job easier. Everyone says the whole operation changes when Rachel's around." That was the confirmation I needed. I had value, independent of their approval. Now, in the restaurant parking lot, I sit in my car processing what happened. My phone rings. The first call from Mom. I press decline. 2 minutes later, it rings again. Dad this time. Decline again. The third is from Chloe. I stare at my phone, her name flashing on the screen. Decline. Then something strange happens. I start laughing. Real, belly-deep laughter. For years, their calls filled me with anxiety. Now I feel nothing. Liberation. My therapist's words float into my mind. Boundaries aren't about controlling other people, Rachel. They're about controlling your own actions. I open settings and block 3 numbers. That was it. Monday morning at Meridian Food Distribution Center, I step into the office. The weight of weekend events still sits on my shoulders, but strangely, it doesn't feel like a heavy burden. More like taking off an old coat. "You okay?" Melanie stops by my desk. "You've looked tired since Friday." I hesitate whether to tell her. But Melanie was more than just a colleague. She'd become a friend over the past few months. "Family issues," I say simply. "Ah," she nods with understanding. "The messy kind?" "The worst kind. But it's resolved." Marcus approaches us, heard about the promotion. Congratulations, Rachel. Thank you. Well deserved, he says. How much did your inventory system improvement save annually? $280,000? That's right. The whole operation changes when Rachel's around, Melanie adds. Remember that delivery truck breakdown? You reorganized alternative routes in 30 minutes. Management was all impressed. I smile. This was it. This was real appreciation. Based on who I am and what I can do, not what I provide. Actually, I wanted to ask you something. My supervisor Dave approaches. I heard your parents stopped by Friday? My cheeks burn. Yes, sorry. Personal issues that. No need to apologize. He raises his hand. Just if they come again, let me know in advance. I'll talk to security. I stare at him. Really? Rachel, you're one of our best operations managers. It's my job to make sure you can work comfortably. If anyone's bothering you, family or otherwise, we'll handle it. Tears swell up in my eyes. At work, people want to protect me. They treat me as valuable. Thank you, I say, my voice shaking. My phone rang with a hospital number 1 week after cutting off my family. This is St. Mary's Hospital. Is this Rachel Parker? Your mother has been admitted for testing due to stress-related symptoms. She's asking to see you. My hand grips the phone. Heart attack? No heart abnormalities found. Stress-related symptoms. And she's already cleared for discharge, but she says she won't go home until she speaks with her daughter. I take a deep breath. I understand. I'm on my way. Arriving at the hospital, Mom sits up in a regular hospital bed. No oxygen mask, no heart monitor. Just in 4. She's fully conscious and her eyes brighten when she sees me. Rachel, you came. Dad sits in a chair. Chloe stands near the window. All 3 wear the same expression, calculated concern. What happened? I ask. Stress. Mom places her hand on her chest. The doctor said it's because of what we're going through. What specifically did they diagnose? All test results are normal. A nurse enters the room. Blood pressure was slightly elevated but stabilized with medication. Actually, you're free to go home now. Mom looks at me. But we need to talk. Yes, I say. Let's talk. I pull up a chair and sit. Explain why you're demanding I pay for Chloe stealing $36,000. It's not theft. Chloe speaks for the first time. We're family, so. It's theft. I cut her off. Using my money for purposes other than what I intended, without my consent. That's called theft. We have medical expenses, Dad says. Because you stopped supporting us. I supported you for 2 years. Chloe just intercepted it. Mom starts crying. Perfectly timed tears. We're family, Rachel. We're supposed to help each other. I stand up. Family doesn't lie to each other, manipulate each other, or steal money from each other. If your grandfather were, Dad begins. If grandfather were here, he'd tell you to be ashamed, I say. For treating your daughter like a financial ATM. I leave the hospital room. In the hallway, Chloe chases after me. Rachel, wait. I turn around. What? Please, they really are struggling. Dad had to take a retail job. His pride is really hurt. That's not my problem. But we're family. Was I family when you stole $36,000? She can't answer. I know an excellent financial advisor, I say. Should I recommend one? Someone who specializes in recovering from family financial exploitation. I walk out of the hospital. Outside, snow begins to fall. 6 months later, at 6 a.m., a knock echoed at my new apartment's front door. I opened the door in my pajamas and froze seeing Dad and a stranger standing there. This is Lawyer Johnson, Dad says in a voice with suppressed emotion. He has something for you. A stack of legal documents is pressed into my hands. Lawsuit notice. Damages claim for failure to fulfill family obligations. Amount: $48,000 including interest and legal fees on the original $36,000. You're kidding. I stare at the papers. The lawyer clears his throat. Your family claims they are in financial distress and have suffered serious damages from your withdrawal of promised support. I promise nothing. We have evidence. Dad smiles thinly. 2 years of payment records. An established pattern. Expectation. I flip through the papers. There's a sworn affidavit from Chloe. Sister verbally agreed to provide financial support to family, it reads. This is perjury. Prove it, Dad challenges. A week later, they showed up at my workplace. I was hosting a team meeting when reception called. Rachel, your family members are in the lobby saying they need to speak with you. My blood runs cold. They came to my workplace. Sorry, I'll be back in 5 minutes. I tell my team and rush to the lobby. There sit Mom, Dad, and Chloe. Mom has obviously been crying, and Chloe is pregnant. Rachel. Mom stands and calls my name loudly. Everyone in the lobby turns around. Please listen to us. Chloe is pregnant. She needs help. My colleagues are turning to look. Melanie emerges from the elevator with a worried expression. This isn't the appropriate place, I say in a low voice. Where is appropriate? Dad asks loudly. You won't answer our calls. You don't return letters. We have no choice. My supervisor Dave appears in the lobby, assessing the situation. Excuse me. Chloe begins speaking in a tearful voice. I'm pregnant and financially struggling. My sister used to help us, but she suddenly stopped supporting us. She's playing the perfect helpless pregnant woman. People around us look sympathetic. We're her only family, Mom adds. But she's cut us off. I feel trapped. Whatever I say, I'll look like the cold sister, the heartless daughter. Let's talk now, I say through gritted teeth. We move to an empty conference room. Dave gives me a concerned look. In the conference room, Chloe drops her act. If you don't pay us, this lawsuit continues, she says. And we'll come here every day. Until we ruin your reputation. That's blackmail. Prove it, Mom says coldly. We're just a worried family trying to talk. Dad leans forward. I heard about the upcoming promotion. Vice president candidate? How will upper management feel about this kind of scandal? My hands shake. They're trying to destroy my new life. I'll give you time to think. Chloe stands up. But we won't wait long. After they leave, I sit alone in the conference room. My chest tightens. Breathing becomes shallow. Melanie quietly enters. Are you okay? I look at her. The trust we've built over these 2 years, the friendship, all now endangered by their manipulation. No, I say honestly, I'm not okay at all. That night, I called Dr. Peterson for legal assistance. This is typical escalation tactics, she says. When you set boundaries, manipulators resort to last-ditch efforts. But Rachel, this is also proof they're losing. Losing? My life is about to fall apart. The fact that they're resorting to such extreme measures means normal manipulation no longer works. This is their death throes. I take a deep breath. What should I do? We fight, and we win. The following week, I took action. First, I reported the situation to workplace HR. In front of Dave and HR Director Sarah, I explained everything. This is workplace harassment, I said. We need to take legal action. Absolutely agree. Sarah responded immediately. I'll instruct security. They can never set foot in this building again. Next, I consulted the lawyer Dr. Peterson recommended, a law firm specializing in family financial abuse. Their lawsuit is groundless, lawyer Mr. Chen said while reviewing my bank records. You have no obligation to pay. Instead, we have grounds for a countersuit. Countersuit? Harassment, perjury, suspected extortion. We also have evidence that your sister actually embezzled your money. I took a deep breath. Let's do it. The counterattack was swift. 2 days later, Chloe's former employer contacted me. It emerged that she had borrowed money from the company claiming to support sick family, but was actually using transfers from me to repay it. She would be reported to police for suspected embezzlement. The same day, a tip came from Dad's former colleague. There was evidence Dad had been committing Social Security fraud. Hidden accounts, underreported income. I passed all information to my lawyer. "They're going to have big problems," Mr. Chen said. "Your issues are likely resolved." A week later, Mom called in tears. "Rachel, please, let's talk. We were wrong." "It's too late now," I answered calmly. "You came to my workplace and threatened me. See you in court." "But Chloe will be charged with embezzlement. Dad is under investigation for Social Security fraud. You declared war on me." After a long silence, Mom whispered, "We're family." "No," I said, walking toward the door. "You're my past. My family is the people I choose." I hung up. 3 weeks later, everything was resolved. Their lawyer called wanting to drop the lawsuit. With Chloe's embezzlement case and Dad's fraud investigation, their position was completely destroyed. My clients deeply apologize and agree never to contact you again. "In writing," I said, "with a legally binding agreement." The same day, I received official notice from the company. Promotion to vice president. My inventory system improvements had been adopted company-wide, achieving $500,000 in annual cost savings. Melanie burst into my office. "Did you hear?" "Vice president." "I can't believe it," I said, laughing. "Well deserved." Marcus joined us. "Even during that family chaos, you kept delivering results at work." Upper management saw that. That night, I sat alone in my new office. Corner office, city view, and most importantly, peace. A notification arrived on my phone. Text from Dr. Peterson. "The battle is over. Now it's time for healing." I smiled. She was right. The battle was over, and I had won. My family's final manipulation attempt ended in their complete defeat, and I gained something they could never take away: trust in myself and the power to protect myself. Outside the window, city lights sparkle, as bright as my future. 2 years later, I stand at the podium at our company's annual meeting where all employees gather, now as Vice President of Meridian Food Distribution Center. Last year, our efficiency programs achieved $1.5 million in cost savings. I announced confidently. This is the result of every employee's efforts. Applause fills the venue. In the front row sit Melanie and Marcus, along with my new team. Their proud expressions are the greatest reward for me. My partner Alex also sits in the back, smiling. He proposed to me last night. Someone who loves me for who I am, not what I provide. After finishing my speech and returning backstage, Melanie rushes in. "Great speech." But something weird happened. "What?" "There's a woman at reception. Says she's your sister. But she's on the security list, so we didn't let her in." I looked down at the parking lot from the window. There stands Chloe, clearly in late pregnancy. No luxury SUV anymore. Instead, an old used car. I call reception. Let her in for just 5 minutes, but with security present. Chloe is escorted into the conference room. Her former glow is gone. She looks tired. "Rachel." She tries to stand up. "Please remain seated," I say calmly. 5 minutes. I wanted to apologize. Her voice shakes. Back then I was crazy. Caught up in the influencer fantasy. "I heard you were charged with embezzlement." She nods, suspended sentence. "Paid back the company in full. With the $36,000 from you." It was ironic. She was making amends for one theft with money stolen from me. What about Mom and Dad? They downsized. The government investigation ended, but they had part of their Social Security cut. Dad works at a retail store. I stare at her, don't feel a shred of sympathy. It was the path they chose. "Is there something you want from me?" "Forgiveness," she whispers. "And, if possible, reconciliation." I remain silent for a long time. I think about these 2 years of peace, growth, happiness. How rich life became without them. I forgive you, I finally say. But there will be no reconciliation. Chloe's face begins to brighten with hope, but my next words darken it. Forgiveness and trust are different. You destroyed my trust. That can never be repaired. I stand up. I hope your lives go well, but build that without me. Chloe starts crying. But we're family. No, I say, walking toward the door. You are my past. My family is the people I choose. I leave the conference room. Behind me, I can hear Chloe crying, but I don't turn back. In the elevator, I see my reflection. A strong, confident, completely free woman is there. Outside, Alex waits in the car. Tonight is our engagement celebration dinner. My chosen family is gathering. How was it? He asks. Perfect, I smile. Everything is perfect. As the car starts moving, I look back at the building one last time. A symbol of my success. The crystallization of my efforts. And never again will anyone be able to take that away from me. The days of family exploitation are completely over. My real life is beginning.